thank goodness, because the next year, 2018,
Yes.
almost exactly a year later, Typhoon U2 hit and flattened Saipan. It was the most powerful storm to ever hit any part of the United States ever in history.
Now, talking about these islands that we talked about, I guess I do not know what is the per capita income in Puerto Rico. I would, if somebody was to ask me to bet, I would say it'd be lower than the rest of the U.S. So, is it economical for people in Puerto Rico? I suspect the homes are smaller, certainly compared to Houston. Uh,
Mhm.
do they generate enough energy from solar panels on their roofs? Or maybe their energy needs are lower, so it works. How does that equation? What are the variables in that equation?
Yes. So they do use a lot less electricity per or load factor per square foot in their homes is a lot lower than Houston.
Okay.
That has, I would say something to do with more of a temperate climate, but it's not that much temperate than it's not that much different than Houston. It's got some
Yes.
high humidity.
Yes.
It is a lifestyle difference in Puerto Rico versus Houston, where they simply just use less energy for their
Yes.
lifestyle.
Yes.
So their homes are actually very well done. They're concrete,
Yes.
flat roofs.
Yes.
And so for us, for instance, going through Hurricane Maria, which was a you know, monumental natural disaster, I think
Yes.
of
Yes.
pretty significant proportions, we lost very little solar panels
Oh,
in
did you
that.
have installations before Maria hit?
Yeah, we had thousands.
Oh, you had.
And,
Okay.
yeah, there's all kinds of stories there, but it goes to the point that, if you thought that you can just put your panels on your roof and call it a day, things go wrong, particularly when you start putting batteries and controls and so
Yes.
forth.
Yes.
You need a service provider there. And we were there and we took care of, and we brought everybody back online in Puerto Rico post Maria. And you know how many people paid money in Puerto Rico for that? Zero. We paid every time,
You have
every
a
penny.
service contract.
We have a service contract. We made good on it, and we took care of it. So,
Did
it
the federal government help you? Does FEMA step in and pay you a little bit, or that really
no,
is between you and your customers?
it's between us and our customers. Now we carry insurance too, and that was a portion of it, but that insurance is not cheap, as we all know.
Yes.
And so, yeah, no, we took care of everything. The company made good on all of its obligations and then some in Puerto Rico.
So, what are the specifications on the solar panel and all these electric connections that you put? What kind of wind speed can it withstand? And from an engineering point of view, and can it withstand hail?
It can with stand hail, and what we found in post Maria, and we've shared this with insurance companies and other industry part of the industry is that you're better off of giving up some tilt on the panels, so you produce less electricity,
Okay.
but you provide less what they call lift
Yes.
when you've got those high speeds of wind, when they get the wind underneath the panels.
Yes.
So we feel like next time, and we unfortunately know there will be a next time, we just don't know
Yes.
when,
Yes.
that we'll actually fare even better. We're quite confident of that than we did in 2017 from those learnings. Plus, we have storage on the vast percentage of our customer base.
Most of the installation of these solar panels, you see them installed on some sort of they're lifted from the surface. So does it not make sense to close off the sides and create a little box and then place it so there won't be wind going underneath the panels?
Yes, basically. So you can put the tilt that we've said we have a certain
Yes.
amount of tilt. We tilt
Yeah.
it lower for that precise reason. So it gives you less surface area for the wind to come underneath it. But I didn't answer your question about the wind speeds. We do have, and we did do this in the Pacific. And thank goodness, because the next year, 2018,
Yes.
almost exactly a year later, Typhoon U2 hit and flattened Saipan. It was the most powerful storm to ever hit any part of the United States ever in history. And those were estimated to be, I think, sustained winds, if I remember correctly, above 220 miles an hour. And
Oh, wow.
we fared even better there because we had ratings on wind speed ratings on our racking that were right underneath 200 miles an hour, and some of them were right around that 210, 220. So then we took those learnings and we increased versus 130, 140 wind speed ratings in the Caribbean. We bumped those up to those higher wind speed ratings that we have in the Pacific.
Wow, that is amazing. That is amazing, John. I know of homes in Houston that in 2008, when Hurricane I came, we did not have 200 miles an hour winds, and the roof still flew off. So we would have been better off if we had Sunnova solar panels. Our roofs would have done much better. Maybe we need to do that. Maybe. Uh,